What's up, fam? Modern Day Caveman here. Well, excuse my clothes, man. This is my work attire. I'm getting ready to go to work, so I'm getting ready to. This is a work shirt, so sorry I look kind of rough, but hey, I'm a working man now, right? Right. So last night was our pit meeting, the Positive Influence team, and do you remember that I told you guys when it was like the second. I think it might have been the second or third time that I went to the pit meeting that one of the guys got pulled over by the cops as he was coming in because we were in Blue Ash, which is a predominantly upper white neighborhood, and he was black, and he was driving I think he was driving something, suspicious. Let's just say that. But he got pulled over because the cops said that they couldn't see his license plate until they pulled up on him, and by that time. But anyways. So, and remember that our instructor or our facilitator, that's better, our facilitator Stan, one of the guys came in and was like, hey, they got Aaron out there, hemmed up, the police got him hemmed up. So Stan went out there and he ended up coming back and he ended up inviting the cops back to the program, to ask them to come in and sit on the program. Well, one of those cops actually came to the program yesterday, and her name is Officer Abby. I think it's Abby Schaefer, if I'm not mistaken. But, to be honest, it was a feeling out process. Like, we could tell that we was like Stan was doing his best to try to keep the atmosphere relaxed. But, I ain't going to say that it was tense, but it was kind of like, what is she going to say? Like we want to hear what she going to say. What is she going to say? And once she opened her mouth and she started talking, we realized that she was different. She was very different, and she used to be a probation officer. So that was the start of it right there. And her goal was to be a detective, and she didn't realize that she had to do some things first. But one of them was to be an officer, and so she was she was cool, man. She was real cool, and I'd like to see her mindset spread out throughout the police department and across the United States, man, because she made a statement that really that was impactful, and a few of us noticed it because we were talking about the police and how they're policing things right now, and like how the police is acting right now, and just the whole dynamic between the police department and the communities and stuff. And so somebody says that it needs to be fixed, and she was like, "No, I don't think we can fix it. We need to change it." And it was like, "Ooh, yeah." And so it was revealing when she made that statement about changing the police, and she was talking about how the community policing is the lowest thing on the rung. Like they just now introducing community policing into the department. And it's not a priority, for real. It's not a priority, because we brought up the well, at least I brought up the thing about, I think that the police, like, first of all, let me say this: I'm not fearful of the police, and I tell you, when I first got out of prison, like people would ask me, what are you afraid of? Like when they was getting ready to get out of prison, and people were like, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? And I was like, man, I'm afraid of getting pulled over by the police in some little rural area, man, and that's my biggest fear, man, is just getting pulled over by the police. With my record, dude, they could kill me and be justified. And that was honestly my biggest fear. But when I got out and I started interacting, actually, it was ironic. Like I said, it was ironic because I got out. My first job made me a CO, right? And I was like, God, I'm a cop. That's crazy. But it gave me a different appreciation of law enforcement and officers. So, and then, like I said, I've been pulled over twice since I've been out of prison, and both times my interaction with the police was real. It was cool. It was not tense, or I was not really nervous. You all are a little anxious when the police pull you over. You wonder what's going to happen, but it was real cool. So, and I was like, wow. But at any rate, And all of us has said that, when we were younger, that we had this thing about the police, like, it was like anti-police. But as we got older and as we changed our thinking, our the whole way that we view the police different, because we realize that when the police pull us over and we're being aggressive and non-compliant and all of that stuff, that dictates the tone of the conversation and the interaction between you and the officer. And we're really the ones that are in control of the situation. If we're just, complying and just saying, hey, like, this is this, here's my license, here's my insurance, like, this is what I'm doing. I think that it changes the narrative. It puts them, at ease, because they don't have to be so defensive. Because if you're attacking them when they pull up, of course they're going to be on the defensive. Now they're going to be like, "Why are you acting like that?" Blah blah blah. But at any rate, so she was when she said that change thing, it really made us think differently about how we look at the police, and we realized, all of us actually, almost every last one of us realized that as we got older and as we started living right and doing right and obeying the law, then we don't have nothing to fear from the police, and we're all agreed that we need the police, right? That was the thing. Everybody agreed that we need the police. But I brought up the fact that if you're going to be policing the neighborhood, right? That's the thing. If you're going to be policing the neighborhood, you should spend some time in that neighborhood prior to you becoming a police officer patrolling that neighborhood. Because if you don't know anything about the dynamics of the neighborhood, about the players and the situations that's going on in a community, and you just dump them in there, you don't have no insight of what's going on and the dynamics and these interactions between these families and businesses and all of this. And so I think actually it was my son. It was my son that made the thing. He said that he believes that police should do community service hours, should do a number of X amount of community service hours prior to going into that community. They should go in there. They should have to stay in that community and be in that community and work in that community for a number of hours before they become a police officer in that community. Because then they'll have an understanding of what's going on in the community. They'll know community members' names. They'll know who's doing what. But once the police get into the neighborhoods and they spend some time with the community and they learn the players, then they'll have a better understanding of the dynamics and the complexities of dealing with neighborhoods, especially urban neighborhoods or low-income neighborhoods. Because you send these police that come from suburban America, and you put them into the hood, they don't have no clue of what's going on. All they know is, they're probably going on stereotypes and training and all of that, but they don't have a rapport and they don't have a relationship with the community, and so they don't have an understanding of the dynamics of the community. So she said that she believes that too. She agrees with that community policing is something that needs to be done more often, and they need to be more involved in the community and get to know the community. And she says that, like, she's a basketball player, and so she goes to a school and she plays basketball with these kids, and she says that she's making an impact with these kids. And I remember she asked that she said that she's got one girl that every time she shows up she leaves. The girl leaves because I guess she just don't like the police. And she asked what should she do? And we're all in agreement. It was like, you just keep doing what you're doing, because kids are resilient. They're defiant, but they're also resilient. And she'll get over it if Officer Abby stays consistent. Like, just stay consistent. Continue to do what you're doing. Talk to her peers. And eventually she'll come around. Maybe she'll stick around one day and see that you're not such a bad person. And like, all cops can't be judged by one or multiple incidents, but you can't lump them all together. Now, we all know, every last one of us know, there are some bad cops, period. This bottom line, there are some bad cops. But in any group that you have, there's going to be bad apples. Any group. So, but Officer Abby is not one of them. And she was real cool, and I look forward to her coming back and speaking to us, and maybe bringing some of her people with us, man, because that was pretty cool, man. We developed a relationship, and now she knows what we do, and we know what she does. So that was my meeting. That was my meeting. Well, okay. You know I gotta say it. I say it all the time. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the notification button. Yeah, that's the coolest thing. And I'm feeling much better. Like I'm feeling much better. I'm not coughing. My voice is not really raspy anymore. It's just like, you know, so I'm doing good. Remember, God loves you. So do I. Peace. One love.